Yo, 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 hello, mic check, yeah, seems to be working cool. Hey, hello, this light is bright. My name is Derek, and I joined the Air Force for the girls, and I have a whole backstory to how all this transpired, but it's in another video, and you can just look it up yourself. Just to quickly brief everybody up, though, the year was 1995, and I was 18. No real sense of direction. I knew I wasn't ready for college. My part-time sales associate job at Blockbuster really wasn't going to pay the bills. I needed to get out of my crazy parents' house, and so really, oh, sorry. And so really, my only option was to join the military. Again, this is 95, so there's no internet. You can't just say, I want to join the military and get inundated with 10,000 different pages of stuff. So I just knew what I knew, and what that was there was the Army, the Navy, and the Marines. That's really all I knew about. Both my dad and my uncle were drafted into the Army in Vietnam, and they did not speak highly of the Army. Um, I knew I wasn't a Marine just from the brief interactions I've had with them. They were very uh, concerned with how many pull ups I could do, and that really wasn't eh, on my list of priorities. And so I just knew from like a DNA cellular level that I wasn't a Marine. And so, it really, that left the Navy. I had two grandfathers that were in World War II in the Navy, and they didn't talk to me at all. So I didn't know anything about it, good or bad. So that's what I went with. And right at the last second, right before I was about to start signing that paperwork, I ran into an Air Force recruiter, and he told me that the Air Force had the most girls out of any other branch of the military. And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Why? Why has no one told me this? Why is that not a commercial or an ad on TV? Join the Air Force. We got more girls than anybody else." I mean, the girls would join because there's safety in numbers, and the boys would join because there's girls there. Seems pretty simple to me. But anyways, luckily, right before I joined the Navy, I scrapped that whole thing and didn't join the Air Force. As soon as I found out that the Air Force had the most girls of any other branch of the military, that's all I needed to know, honestly. No, that was my selling point. And so I remember that day I was going home from the recruiting station back home. I was going to say back to my parents' house, but I lived there, so back home. And I open up the door, and the first thing that hits me is the smell of tacos. And my mom couldn't cook for shit. She couldn't cook anything, but man, could she make a taco. Nobody questioned it. Nobody asked why. We didn't want to mess with the formula. We just let it happen. But man, those things were awesome. And it was a big day. I was supposed to join the Navy today, and so she made these tacos to celebrate. And I turn to the right, and my dad's on the couch watching TV, of course, and he sees me and he goes, "Well, well, well, look who it is. America's newest seaman." And he has said that same tired joke for like the past 6 months since I was joining the Navy, since I did the ASVAB and the physical and everything. Every time I came home, he made that same joke. Somebody laughed like a half a laugh, and he went with it. And he every time he had the opportunity, he used it. And by this time, they're both kind of standing, because they're very excited because they want me to leave as much as I want to leave, to be honest with you. And they're both standing and they're like waiting for the good news. And I'm like, no, 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 I didn't join the Navy. And you should have seen the looks on their faces. I didn't even finish my sentence, and their faces dropped. They were like, "Of course you didn't, you big sack of shit. That's why we can't stand you. But you're never gonna leave." And then I hit him with the 1-2 punch, and I said, "No, no, I joined the Air Force." And they kind of perked up. You're like, "Oh my God, he actually did something." And like the Air Force, you know. My dad, my dad just kind of, they're kind of in a state of disbelief, and I didn't really think about their reaction because I was just thinking about Air Force TNA. I mean, I just had TNA run through my head, so I was just excited. I didn't really think that just change branches on them like that. So it took him a second to kind of process it. My dad goes, "The Air Force?" He goes, "You've never once talked about airplanes or flying or aviation or anything like that." And my mom goes, "And don't you have that inner ear thing where like it hurts really bad when we fly and sometimes it makes you cry?" And my dad's like, "That's right. Jesus Christ, Dan." My mom's name's Ann. "That's right. You got the freaking inner ear thing, dude." Every time we fly, you cry like a little bitch. You don't understand how bad it hurts. It hurts so bad. And I go, okay, first of all, I don't cry like a little bitch. Okay. And secondly, it does hurt really bad, and you don't understand. But in my 18-year-old mind, I'm not thinking this, not saying this. I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to admit to these people that, I'll be honest, I didn't think about flying in the Air Force. I didn't really have a time to let it kind of settle in that I had joined the Air Force and that probably meant I was going to be flying. I was just thinking about the girls, man. That's all I was thinking about. And I'm definitely not going to admit that to these people. And so I just came up with some lame excuse of, I'll be fine. I'm 18 now. I can handle it. My mom, flustered, goes off into the kitchen and just kind of mixes the taco meat around a little bit. And my dad goes, "No, seriously, what the hell are you gonna do, dude? You cry every time you fly." And I go, "Oh, and again, this is the mid '90s, so before the internet, and they give you a pamphlet. I had in my backpack. I pull it out, and it's this color page, pamphlet, 5 pages, whatever it was. And I go, no, no, no. Look, there's plenty of people on the ground. Look, she's sitting at a desk, and he's walking in a hallway, and he's working on an airplane, And my dad goes, that guy walking in the hallway is walking to an airplane. He has a pilot bag in his hand. He's wearing a pilot outfit, and he's like, and she's sitting in an airplane." And I go, I'm sure there's plenty of ground jobs. I'm sure it's not all flying. And my dad goes, Jesus Christ. He turns to the kitchen where my mom is. He goes, "Hey, Ann, get a load of this." She goes, "What's that?" He goes, "Your son joined the Air Force to be a ground guy." She goes, "A what?" He goes, "A ground guy." She had no idea. She goes, "Oh, that's nice." She has no idea. And my dad's like, "Oh my God, what am I supposed to tell people? My freaking son, dipshit of a son, joins the Air Force to be a ground guy?" And I go, "Well, for what? But don't tell him that part, obviously. Just tell them, I joined the Air Force. Don't get into the specifics of it." And he goes, "So when do you find out what job you're gonna have?" I was like, "Oh, they don't tell you until you're in basic training." He's like, "So you have to go to basic training before you know what job you have?" He's like, "Oh man, fingers crossed. You're a ground guy." I was like, "No, I'll be fine. I'll be fine." He goes, "So where's basic training at?" I go, "Oh man, I don't know. Let me go back to my pamphlet of knowledge here, kind of flip it around." And he goes, "Oh, so you're not a seaman anymore or a seaman anymore?" And I go, "No." He goes, "What are you now?" I go, "Oh, I don't know." Again, I don't know anything about the Air Force. I literally found them and joined them that day. I go, looks like it says airman. I'm an airman here." He goes, "Airman?" I go, Airmen? No, airmen would be plural. No, I'm an airman." He goes, "You're an airman?" I go, "Yeah, I'm an airman, I guess." He goes, "Where's basic training?" And I go, he goes, "When is basic training?" I go, "Oh, the Air Force makes you wait a couple months to give this kind of air of exclusivity or whatever." So I gotta wait a couple months. He's like, "All right." He's like, "But where is it?" I go, "Oh, let me see." I'm flipping through the pages. And I go, "Oh, it says here, San Antonio, Texas." Now we're in Maryland. I grew up in Maryland here. And he goes, "San Antonio, Texas." I go, "Yeah." He goes, I mean, I don't think they're going to be taking you on a bus to San Antonio, Texas. I go, "Man, I'll be fine. I'll be fine." I'm thinking in my head. I'm not going to say this loud. I'm thinking in my head. My ears could be literally bleeding, falling off. I'm going to where the girls are. So I don't care whatsoever. And so that's plenty of time here. What are we looking at? 8 minutes or whatever it is. The story keeps going and going, but this is all I have for today. Anyways, my name is Derek. I joined the Air Force for the girls. It confused everybody around me, but it didn't confuse me. I knew exactly what I was doing. Thank you so much. Peace.